back, Ron and Henry, for video number 4. This one is all about the food plan. All right. The real life application. And again, your blueprint for weight loss success, part 4. Okay, we're almost there. Good job hanging in there. Make sure you guys take notes. Here we go. All right, so real life application, okay? Well, in real life situations, right? It's difficult to follow these food plans, right? Because every effort, there's a lot of little efforts you're going to be making, right? Like this quote, it says, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So when I first started this, it's tough because most people, especially back then, they're eating the Western diet constantly, right? So when I go to my families for food, and I'm at work and or anywhere, they're trying to offer me food, I have to say no every time. So eventually, though, like my mom, she started making more organic food and stuff to accommodate me for what I did, because when my brother passed in 2012, that's when I went all organic. So I got kind of mad because I feel like, you know, I feel injustice. My brother died, you know, and he was young, you know, that's not cool. So, and you can see my video, my story video, where I talk about that. So, and then of course I did lose my sister too to cancer. So that's why I'm trying to show people also, like, I'm not saying that I'm a doctor or anything like that, or I have the Holy Grail, but what I am saying is that there's some science behind this stuff, and you know, the reason why I got in the shape I am in and I'm healthy the way I am now is because my small efforts, right? And I do understand that I'm not saying that my brother and sister could have avoided their outcome, but I'm saying that I'm going to do the best I can to avoid that outcome. So anyway, yeah, so make sure, you know, you got it right there. It says success is the sum of small efforts. So just make sure you guys are, your small efforts are making the biggest difference in your life for this, for your food plans. You guys can go back to that food plan video that I have and watch it, because it talks about this stuff right here, right? Stop calorie counting. It's basically chemicals that you're looking at also. I'm not saying don't dismiss the calories 100%, but I'm just saying you got to start understanding that it's about chemicals in the food. And then focus on more of the nutrient density foods and the food quality, you know, versus the price point too. Like I said, you can go back to that food plan video and you can find out some of the common diet fads and fears. And then you can also learn why it's important to create a sustainable eating plan for life. Based on the other food plans, you can see that they're not sustainable, some of them, and some of them are, but they're not healthy. But this is why, and then the benefits of you know, creating a sustainable eating plan. Well, you can look at my other video where it talks about the people that live to be over 100. They have the blue zones all across the world that you can see. So look at that video if you get a chance, if you want to learn about the people that live to be over 100, and notice that they do have some stuff in common, especially when it comes to eating. You know, and then also you're also helping, you know, the environment when you're eating healthier. You know, and so the diet plan, it's mainly about, you know, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and then some animal products as well. So for the first couple days to get started, right, plan meals in advance, as we mentioned, to avoid stress, okay? Make sure you guys write these steps down too right here. They're listed, so you can just write them down, right? Drink plenty of water. So just write down, plan your meals, drink some water, right? But drink water, okay? You want to drink plenty. And then, you know, make sure you adjust your portion sizes and avoid cravings. So like what I do is, I'm not trying to tell everybody to drink coffee all day, but I drink some coffee. I drink more coffee than I should. I'm trying not to eat before 12. That's how I do it though. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so yeah, you can drink water, coffee, tea, but then also make sure you have your portions adjusted. So like I said, if you're a bigger person and you're eating healthy, then just go ahead and just adjust it. Maybe you can add a little bit more. All right, day 3 to 5, right? Finding a rhythm, right? So basically, remember I'm trying to help you guys here to not think. Okay, I want you guys just to let me do the thinking for you. Just follow the plan, right? So let's see here. So, well, yeah, if you're gonna meal prep, right? We talked about that. So that's gonna save you time, and that's gonna help you avoid unhealthy decisions, right? So you're gonna have it already ready to go. And then when you balance your meals, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna have more energy. It's not easy being out there in the world trying to eat healthy. The world's not trying to help you, right? So just try to manage those situations. Be strong. You know, don't just embrace it and say, nope, I made my decision. I'm not going back. So another quote. This is by my man Abraham Lincoln that I actually have to teach about quite often because I am a U.S. history teacher. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Hmm. All right. So are you guys going to be strong? Are you guys going to be able to do this? Because here's the thing. I have a student on Friday. Well, it doesn't matter what day it was, but just the other day. And I asked him, I said, okay, dude, you want to save those points that you earned so you can get your big prize in 2 weeks? Or no, actually, it's going to be a month. Or do you want to get some stuff now, right? And the kid said he wanted to wait. And I was like, wow, that's a great sign for him. Because a lot of kids are impatient and they want something now, right? So let's not be little kids. Let's grow up. Listen to Mr. Lincoln. He's telling you something. All right, day 6 and 7. Okay. Um, well, feeling lighter and more energetic. Ooh, here we go. Now you're gonna start feeling it. Here we go. Cravings for unhealthy foods will decrease now. Okay, so you're not going to be having them sugar cravings like you used to. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be eating sugar. I'm just saying you're not going to have the same cravings, but you're kind of changing it. You're going to be eating more fruit stuff, right? Fruit, veggies. But then you're going to start really liking it because, like pink lady apples, like I was saying in the other video, whew, they're so delicious. Um, and then also you can dry the fruits, right? God, they're so good. But then that becomes a problem too, because then I start eating too much. Like I'll eat a whole bag of them banana chips, and then next thing you know, my sugars are all messed up. So yeah, you got to be careful. You still got to be careful because you still are eating sugars, right? Let's see here. Okay, so and then consistency is the key, right? And repetition is the mother of skill. So just be consistent and keep repeating the process, and you're going to get used to it. It's going to be a habit. It's going to be a skill, right? And then, but make sure you prepare, like you're doing right now by watching this video, because it will reduce your stress and you'll be successful. Okay, if you're prepared, just prepare. Okay. Listen, most people don't prepare. Most people, the reason that's the problem. Why are they not preparing? Life's tough. It's hard. We have a lot to do. But I'm telling you, if you prepare, it's going to change everything. You just got to take a little bit of time out of your day and get it done. Okay? So, for example, yesterday was what? Saturday. Okay. Sometimes it's Saturday and Sunday that I'll usually make a meal on each day. But when I'm making a meal, I'm not just making one meal. I'm making, like I said, I'll make like 4 or 5 chicken breasts, and then I'll just have one. So then I have the rest in the fridge for the rest of the week, right? So now I'm already prepared. See? So the same thing goes with my eggs, the same thing goes with a few things, right? All right. So yeah. How long does it take to see results from diet and exercise? Okay. That's going to be kind of important. Let's find out, right? So your first 1 to 2 weeks, right? You're only going to lose 1 to 5 pounds, okay? Because it's basically water weight, right? And usually that's after 3 or 4 days, you're going to just be peeing out water, right? But then you're gonna increase your energy levels will increase, and you're not gonna feel as bloated. Okay. Um, you will have an improved mood and mental clarity, and that will be showing you that your progress is working. You're progressing. 2 to 4 weeks, right? Well, you're going to start seeing some physical changes. You'll start feeling better, more endurance. Your muscle will, you start have more muscle tone, right? You're going to lose a couple pounds, okay? But this is real weight, and this is weight that's going to stay off. It's not like one of them diets where you can lose 10 pounds a week, but it comes right back, you know? Um, but just stay consistent, right? You're going to have better stamina and body composition, okay? And all this stuff right here, you guys, by the way, all this information, I live it daily. Like I'm telling you, like the way I am now, when you get to a certain point, when you basically have just a little fat, and then basically what happens is now if I drink beer for a few days, or if I eat a bunch of stuff, right now what's going to happen is it's going to stick to me for a few days, and I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it on my belly and everything, and it's visible. It's not bad because I'm already in the shape I'm in, but you can see it visibly. You can see it, and so then I have to be focused. I got to make sure for the next 3 days I can't eat any of that stuff. I'm not going to drink any beers. No, none of that. No, no, no. And so, and then what I do is I focus. So then the next 3 or 4 days, now it's all gone, goes away. And the first 2 days it's still there. The third day I'm like, ooh, I don't see it. It's almost gone now. And the fourth day it's gone. Like that's for me. That's for my body. So that's just how I think. That's how I've learned over the years. So just so you guys can understand that, okay? Um, so and then 4 to 12 weeks. Here we go. Now you're going to start seeing fat loss. You're going to see muscle gain. So after a month, that's why this plan is for a month. So you guys can see everything at first, right? Then we can keep. You probably stay on the same plan. You probably just stay right on the same plan. But then you can, like I said, in a couple months, in 6 months, you might want to go to intermittent fasting or something, you know, if you want to take it to another level. But I want you guys to go slower, because if you go fast right to the intermittent fasting, then your body detoxes and all this, and you have to deal with all that. I'm not saying you won't have to deal with some of that later, but I'm saying let's take it slow, because it's hard enough to get you guys to get your habits and your mind to change, okay? Just follow my plan. Don't think. Let me do the thinking, as I said before, okay? All right, so long term, 12 weeks, okay? Now you're going to be bragging to everybody. Well, you probably do that after a month. And people are going to be talking about it. You're going to say, dang, dude, look at that guy. Look at that woman. Look at her. You know, look at them. Wow, they're amazing. Um, and you're going to be needing new clothes and stuff. So that's another problem, right? Um, so let's see here. So you're gonna have weight loss, fitness gains, because you're gonna be doing I'm gonna have an exercise program that's coming out next, right after this, and then you're gonna be able to start adjusting your routines to either increase weight, add something, maybe pull something out that you don't need anymore, stuff like that, right? And then basically you're building long-lasting habits for your life. All right, so I'm trying to understand this quote. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Maybe somebody can maybe somebody can leave something in the comments, because I don't understand this one. I'm thinking what you get. I just wanted to put it up because Zig Ziglar, I was in sales for 20 years, and I'm all about motivational speakers. When you're in sales, you know, you spend a lot of money on that stuff, because like guys will spend a couple grand just to go see somebody speak, because they're going to go back and they're going to be able to make a lot of money the next week, because they're going to have new information, new tools, a new perception, you know, new perspective, and they're going to be able to maximize. And it usually works like every time when you spend the money. But this guy's one of the guys that people go pay to see. But he says what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become. So I'm thinking it's because of the grind, and you're embracing the challenge, and you're being consistent, you know, and you're being repetitive, right? And you're overcoming diversity, right? I think that's what he means. But if somebody could, like I said, if anybody wants to comment, I would love to be able to respond, because, or if somebody wanted to actually tell me what they think it means in the comments, I would appreciate that. But I think that that's what it means. I think it's just basically overcoming, enduring. Um, and then you look back and you're like, okay, well, now I got, like, when I went to college, right? I didn't like school, right? When I was younger, and I resisted my whole life, right? And then when I went back to school, I got my bachelor's degree, right? And I'm like, well, geez, like, I did not like school, but now I'm getting really good at this school stuff. And I was older, and so guess what I did, right? Well, I was like, well, I can't stop now. I already got all these skills. So then I got my 3 master's degrees after that, right? I couldn't stop. So the same thing goes with exercise, right? Once I learned that it's the diet and it's the food plan to achieve my goals, then I started following it, right? Now I become this person that's educated and I'm in shape, and I can't believe it, but I overcame, and I achieved the goals. So I don't know if that's what you think this quote means. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving. So uh, I achieved my goals, right? I did, right? But now this is who I become. So I don't think it's as far as the physical, right, or the education. I think it's more of the mindset. I think it also might have to do with the work ethic too, and then maybe you know your mindset, right, and overcoming adversity and stuff like that, like I was saying. But um, so then, okay, this is what it is. So when I went to college, I remember before college, even in my 30s, if I were to order something like a table and I was supposed to put it together, or like a stand or whatever, and then it comes in the box, right, with all the different parts, and you're supposed to put it together, I would have struggled. And I remember I did. And I remember it was hard, and I couldn't even get the instructions. I can get through them and I can read them and all that, but I just couldn't, like, it seems like I couldn't focus, or I couldn't critically evaluate, or I let, you know what I did? I let it get in my head, like, oh, you're not gonna be able to do this. And so then I was not as successful, and I would build these things. Sometimes I'd have the screws left and all that, and it wouldn't come out right, or I would have somebody have to help me with it. But after college, especially, there's nothing you can't do. So now I embrace everything. Like, oh, it's a challenge. Let's go. I'll put that thing together, and no problem. And now whenever I get anything, I knock it out quick. And people are like, dang. And I remember I noticed a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm thinking, what do you mean you can't do that? You can do everything. So that's what college, I think, helped me with. So if you're a young person and you don't want to go to college, or if you don't want to go put in work in something, then I get it. But it's not just about getting your degree. It's about who you're becoming, right? What you're becoming as you achieve those goals. Okay, so that might bring some clarity to that quote. I think that's what it means. But like I said, somebody let me know if you guys have any other ideas or opinions on that. All right, so key factors influencing results, right? Remember, nutrient dense meals. Okay, try not to eat those fast food places and stuff. Hey, make sure you have nutrition. Treat yourself. Treat yourselves well. Okay. Exercise routine. Okay. Cardio and strength training. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Got to have strength training and cardio. Strength training. It's just so important. Um, it's the thing that's I think it's made the big difference for my life, based on me not saying I haven't had a lot of health problems, but I think that's the number one thing that's helped me overcome, just getting back in there and just working it out all the time. you know um, Consistency, of course, going 4 or 5 days a week. That's another thing I've always done, even when I'm not eating the most nutritious foods. I'm always going to the gym, and I somehow, it just seems to work out for me. All right. Here's a great quote. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Okay. So be consistent every day. Tell yourself, don't let your brain get in the way. Okay. Nope. I'm not going to listen to you. The mind, nope. I'm stronger than you. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. Okay. No donut. Oh, let me go have another cup of coffee. Let me get away from that donut. I'm telling you, in my break room at work, they had donuts. They always have stuff like that. Man, oh my God, they look so good. I would love to eat one.